What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Second Street. I hope you're all having a very good day today, where we are talking about Loki, episode number 2, titled The Variant. Now, before I get into all that, please make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed. Be one of the mortal. We'll get into that in a second. Be one of the Myrtle Maniacs. And if you'd like to, consider becoming one of the channel members, one of the immortal Myrtle Maniacs, by clicking the join button right down there next to the subscribe button, or just down there in the description of this video. You can go and do that. And also make sure, if you want to, go check out the Discord as well. The link's there. It's here on the channel. You can find it in all kinds of places. So make sure you go do that as well, because for the immortal Myrtle Maniacs, we have been doing some watch parties of Kevin Smith movies, because tonight on Fanjexer's channel, we're gonna have Debate 8. Is a Adam over at Fanjexer does the show every single Wednesday at well, I don't know. I'm not sure what time it is. His time, but it's normally at like 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on the West Coast. So I believe that's 8:30 if you're out on the East Coast, or depending on where you are in the world, you need to go check it out. But he usually has it up and scheduled. Tonight, we are going to be talking about Kevin Smith films. And here over the past week or so, we've had some watch parties going over Kevin Smith films for for the immortal Myrtle Maniacs over there on the Discord. It's been fun. It's been great getting back in there and watching these Kevin Smith movies. And believe me, I watch these movies quite often anyway. I mean, I know these movies so great, like the back of my hand. The heck is that? Anyway, so yeah, make sure that you tune into that. There should be a link down there in the. Oh, you son of a! Oh, you know what? We're gonna drop this link here for Adam's channel, so you can go subscribe, and you should do that, because Adam's channel is absolutely great. We're gonna be over there, and the funnest part about it is you, as a viewer, get to get in there and interact in the live chat. And not only that, you get to vote for your favorite film. And if you like Kevin Smith films, you need to show up, because tonight is going to be a good one. And guys, I'm telling you, it's called Debate 8. I am there. I know how you feel about a lot of these movies. Trust me. I know 100% exactly how you feel about these movies, but it's my job to convince you to join in and vote the way that I want you to vote, because there's one movie I think is the best Kevin Smith film, and I can guarantee you it is very different from what yours is. And I have all my reasons for that. And it's for all the same reasons that you actually love Kevin Smith yourself and his films. Trust me. If you think I'm wrong, prove me wrong. Show up tonight on Debate 8 over at Fanjexer. So anyway, guys, let's get here into the live chats before we get into this film. This review. I will go into this review, no spoilers, and then we'll jump into a whole lot of all of that. First, we got my man Mike Porter here. We got Romeo in the house. Wayne from Reefer Man Reviews. What is up, my man? Some of the immortal Myrtle Maniacs in the house already. What is up? Okay, let's see. We've also got Ivan Rodriguez. Thank you all so much for being here. So, episode 2 of Loki, titled The Variant, I thought was a very good episode. I thought this episode did very good in kind of building on what we got in episode 2, showing us a little bit more of that Loki and Owen Wilson kind of going back and forth. They're kind of teaming up here in this show. It's been very good. Owen Wilson is so great at what he does, the way he delivers lines, his mannerisms, and just everything in just so many different situations. He's very, very good at. And we can see that Tom Hiddleston is the same way. He's a very good actor in the way that he goes and portrays this character, and even a lot of the things and the emotions and stuff that he shows when he's on camera during the show. Now, we've also got, I can't even remember, maybe I should IMDb this, some of the other people that are on this show, because altogether, the cast has been really good as far as everything that we're getting here out of this show. Now, let me see here. Other cast aside from Owen Wilson is, I'm probably gonna, oh yeah, I'll probably definitely mispronounce this one. uh, Gugu Mbatha Raw is Ravonna Renslayer, and she's the one that's kind of the head there at the TVA that's kind of judging everybody, the judge, if you will, of everybody, that's kind of presiding over the proceedings. She's been doing a pretty good job here, and here we get a little bit more interaction with her and Owen Wilson in this episode as well, and it really kind of helps, like it builds a little bit more mystery around these two characters and exactly what we're getting out of them, what's going to happen here. Maybe a little bit of foreshadowing happening here in this episode with these two characters as well, and their kind of relationship and their back and forth we see going on throughout this episode with these two characters. We see Loki and we see Loki and Mobius go on a mission trying to track down this variant of Loki, which is very interesting because they're tracking down this rogue variant, but they've got a variant. Like, isn't he the variant? I mean, I don't know. Seems a little odd, and you can see a little bit more of that going on in this episode where Loki is kind of questioning what exactly is going on, what the timekeepers are there for, what their agenda is, and why everybody seems to trust them so blindly and just go along with it. And we just get a little bit more of that here in this episode as they are tracking down this rogue variant of Loki. Altogether, I think this episode 2 does a very good job of building on the series. And, I believe we're getting 6 episodes of this. So, you think about it, we're 1/3 of the way through this, through this whole series altogether. And so that means we've already been introduced. Like, who do you think is the villain? Who do you think is the villain here? Because here by the end of, if I'm dead sure we've already been introduced to our villain. Kind of think I might know who it is already anyway. And for this show, and it's interesting seeing all this kind of stuff play out where we see this. It's not even a buddy cop scenario that we've got going on here, but it kind of is what we've got going on here with our two main characters between Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. Again, altogether, I think it's been a very, very good episode series so far. Definitely seems like it's kind of taking a lot of things out there and just kind of planting seeds for a lot of things to come, and maybe even for explaining some of the things that have been. Maybe it's hard to say, isn't it? Because we can see some of the we see a little bit more of what we got in episode 1 here, where we're getting some of that the background, the stuff that the Avengers did previously, where we got some of those flashbacks. We don't quite get that here, but we get mentions of things happening here and how they affect the timelines and everything like that. Again, it seems like the sacred timeline thing is one of the things that is being very questioned a lot, not only by Loki, but possibly even Mobius himself. Or is it? Altogether, I think they've been doing a better job so far of building mystery and keeping me on my toes and wanting to know what's getting ready to happen next. And I kind of feel that this is doing exactly, because I felt like WandaVision was doing that same thing. After those first 2 episodes, you got into episode 3 to 4, it started really building mystery, and you really started kind of wondering what was going on after watching those first few sitcom type episodes, which were actually building up some mystery as you're sitting there looking at all these things, trying to figure out what's going on. Lo and behold, we know exactly how that show ended up and things like that. I really do feel like this is going to be a little bit different in how it's setting up our characters and rolling into the future. I think it's actually taking some of those threads that we're seeing in other things and beginning to really tie them all together in the sacred timeline. And I don't know. I could be wrong. But let me know what you think about that, what you thought about episode 2 down in the comments below. And then we'll get into a little bit more kind of spoiler talk here. And, before we get into that, we'll tell everybody, that we're going into spoilers and stuff. So, yeah. And also make sure that you check your Myrtle bit while you're here. Hit exclamation Myrtle bit right down there in the chat, and you can check your Myrtle bit. Myrtle bit is how you get entered into the giveaways that we're going to be doing here on the channel. The only way to get Myrtle Bit is to be here on these live streams, interacting with people here in the live streams, being on the live streams, watching them, and hanging out in the chat. That's really that's how you acquire Myrtle Bit. So the more you're here and interacting, the more Myrtle Bit you acquire. One of the things we're giving away is this right here, is Two Stories. Two Stories is a memoir about faith and mental illness by Zarek Award-winning cartoonist Joshua Kemble. Josh thought he was living the artist's dream. The young, ambitious comic book creator had a hip Portland apartment, an affectionate fiancée, and his whole life ahead of him, until the night he finds himself on Burnside Bridge, willing himself to jump. How did he get here? Two Stories is a confessional graphic memoir that grapples with questions of faith, mental illness, depravity, and ultimately redemption in a fallen world. I don't know about you, but that sounds damn good to me. And Two Stories, I mean, you could probably find it out there. I'm sure he's probably got this available online. You could probably find it in some local comic book shops, especially here in the greater Los Angeles area. Or you could hang out here in the live stream with a lot of these great folks, interact with them, and acquire Myrtle Bit and get entered into the giveaway for this. It's the only way you're going to get it. It's the only way you're going to get it. So let's get in here and see what you all are saying today. And again, make sure that you go subscribe to my man Adam over at Fanjecture. Mike Porter, what is up? How are you doing? Reefer Man says, hell yeah. Yeah, it was a great episode. Predicted so much of this episode. All right, yeah. Romeo says, sending you something over a tweet or a prediction for the last episode of Loki. Oh, all right. Mike Porter's a variant. Ooh, you know what? Me likey. All right. See, Ivan Rodriguez says, seen episode 1 yesterday. Can't wait to watch number 2. Yeah, both. I mean, they're both pretty good episodes. I like, you know, they both doing what they're doing. They're building the mystery, and they're getting me really kind of questioning and thinking about what's going on. And we'll discuss a little bit more of that here in just a minute. Can't wait for the Master of the Universe series. Kevin Smith and Feige, I trust. Yes. Yeah, I know. I mean, I know he's doing the comic book as well. They got a comic book coming out, and then they're doing that TV show as well. Yeah. Yeah. Tell the kid went to his local craft store, Michael's, and got supplies for a homemade Tesseract. He built it. Now he is, but now the TVA is after him. Nice. Hell yeah. Sweet. Thomas Loki reminds me a bit of Sheldon Cooper in the second episode. There's a bit of Sheldon Cooper. I don't know who Sheldon Cooper is. You have to. I'm not sure. Yeah, they went to Pompeii. Yeah. What if the TVA workers are variants? Ooh, I like that. I like that, Mike Porter. I like that. To be seen behind the curtains and timekeepers. Okay, TVA is being used for a scheme behind the curtains. I think the timekeepers are not in charge at all. Renslayer is involved in some shady deal, maybe including Kang. Yeah, that sounds like some good speculation there. I like that. Interested. Okay, let's see. Yeah, Miss Minute's so hot right now. Yeah, she's so hot. Yeah. I mean, timeline is like a jail for all other timelines, and free will, and Lady Loki is about to free them all. Check my Myrtle Bit earlier. All right. You can check your nerdcore in here too. Miss Minutes is the Jar Jar Binks of the MCU, but I dig it. Oh man, that's messed up. I'm saying that. Moss, thank you so much for being here. I am the prime Moss. All other Mosses are variants. All right. One day we get Darth Jar Jar. We need Darth Jar Jar. I like that too. Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. I've never seen it. I've never seen Big Bang Theory. I've never seen it. I've never seen it. I guess I'm not. I guess I'm not that big of a nerd. Oh, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But okay, so getting into this episode, we're gonna go ahead and get into some spoilers here, guys. If you guys have any thoughts on this episode, things going on here, let me know down in the chats. And we'll kind of get into some of this. The episode started off at the at the Renaissance Fair, and I thought I thought it was kind of funny. And I'll be honest with you, I was a little bit jealous that these people even got to dress up and do a little bit of Ren Fair thing. You know why? Because I haven't been to a Ren Fair in going on 2 years now. Yeah, thanks a lot. Anyway, they could have at least put out a casting call for Ren Fair nerds. I'm just right here. I guarantee you they probably just shot at the studio right there in Santa Clarita. Anyway, I want to go to the Ren Fair. They show up at this Ren Fair. The agent, the TVA agents, do tracking down this variant Loki. A whole little kerfuffle happens, and you see what's going on here is her. Loki is using her. We find out later that it's a female. It's the female Loki. I don't know. Is it a female Loki? I don't know. It's gender fluid Loki. All right. So how dare you? How dare you? Gender fluid Loki. Loki, we find out, is transferring their essence to people by way of touching them, just like we seen in that movie Fallen. And I remember Josh over at the Den of Nerds talking about this thing, like this storyline. It's obviously a comic I haven't read, a storyline in which they did the same kind of thing where Fallen actually kind of followed that same kind of storyline where there's like this person out there who's transferring their consciousness to people by way of touching them. And we see that Loki is doing that here, and we see there's a little scuffle in which happens, and Loki ends up taking a hostage. As whoa, we got a $5 super chat from my man Abu Nas. Says, salute to my brother. I'm at work right now, but wanted to show some love. As you've been on a tear lately. All right, man. Can't get it, Loki, but love how you break it down. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you so much, Abu Nas. I was actually watching some of the Dark Council last night. I was hanging out for a little while. Thank you so much for being here, man. I hope all is going well with you. And thank you so much for the $5 super chat, man. I hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. See, you were doing some gaming streams here a couple weeks ago. Was that last week? Yeah. Right on. Sweet. Thank you so much, man. So we see this little scuffle where we see these agents get into it by way of Loki transferring their consciousness into this person, using them basically as a puppet, and ends up taking this hostage. One of these agents with Loki ends up taking this. It's tricky, right? Loki ends up taking this hostage and walking through this little time portal after getting one of those nice little cool swipers that they got. It looks like old school technology, but it looks like like modern, and it still works. But Loki ends up taking a hostage and walking through one of these time portals. Again, these time portals are something that were mentioned in the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. Go watch what was his name? You know who I'm talking about. Lawrence Fishburne's character had stuff on the chalkboard right in the back of him. We see it in the little pamphlets in the end credits of this show. But anyway, the point being is it walks through this door, taking a hostage, and then we flashback to the TVA where we see Loki and Owen Wilson kind of doing their thing. Obviously they are in some hot water after they go out on this mission trying to track down Loki. This rogue variant of Loki at this Renaissance Fair, and Loki is sitting there trying to stall and trying to just form a plan and just doing all these weird things, just trying to, Loki being Loki. Loki is as Loki does. And we see, Owen Wilson kind of picks up on it as they're there trying to track down everything that's going on, and they end up resetting this timeline while they are there as well by way of these little bombs that they set off, these little charges that set off and reset all those ripples that whatever they did at that timeline changed. And we see we go back to the TVA, and we see Owen Wilson, kind of getting in some hot water about taking this rogue variant with him out on this mission, and the guy is basically compromising everything that they are trying to do. Now, the interesting thing here is they keep doing all these little flashes because, everybody after episode 1 was looking at that, the one of the timekeepers, because there's 3 of them, looking at the one of them saying, hey, that looks an awful lot like Kang, according to the little animation. And nobody's talking about the other 2. A little weird, right? Anyway, it's also weird because if you think about the Living Tribunal, and the Tribunal had 3 heads, but that's a different story. But you see, they keep doing all of these, like they keep panning in and out of a lot of these shots with all 3 of these timekeepers, always focusing on that middle one, right? Right? It's just odd. And then those little wooden faces, the little wooden faces of them that are like in the little like courtroom thing too, and how they're all split up and like they're set farther and back away from each other. So if you're viewing them from the side, like it doesn't look like the complete, it would look funny, right? But then like it would look like this, but then when you view it like this, you don't notice it, and it looks like, anyway, it's almost like those little things that you stick, those little things with all those little pins and you stick your face through, but they're in like, it'd be like, anyway, point being, they keep focusing on this middle one that everybody seems to think is going to be Kang, the Conqueror, or Immortus. So anyway, we get a little bit of the interaction here between Renslayer and Mobius as they are there talking about this mission, about Loki and everything going on here. Now, there's these little subtle things that we notice, like Owen Wilson sitting there and her going back and forth about some of the things. Mobius here has obviously never met the timekeepers, and he's questioning some of the things going on there. As they're kind of having this back and forth, having a little bit, it seems, is it just me or is that a little bit of flirtation going on there between these two? It seems like there's a little bit of tension there, if you will. And also we see as Owen Mobius is setting down his drink, we see that she yells at him about using a coaster for the table, and we see that there is actually some rings there. Like I yell at my kids about this all the time. There is some rings there on the table, indicating that somebody has been putting a cup there for quite some time, and we have to know this to be Mobius, right? So how long has Mobius been there? How long has he been on this mission? How long has this been a thing? How long has he been going to this? And that's some of the stuff we get in the little banter that they're talking about. Her other what do they call them? Time agents, agent. I can't remember what they call them. Accountants? I can't remember. But the thing is, they're sitting there having that whole back and forth, and he's talking about her having other agents and stuff like that, or what do they call? I can't remember what they call them, man. Do I have to go back and watch it? I can't remember what they call them, but he was talking about there are other ones, like insinuating that she had other ones, but there wasn't. Like it was because it was all him. Right? Like I said, some of that kind of flirting and that banter and everything. And so you see some of that going on. Now, supposedly, I won't confess to know a whole lot about these characters, about Kang and the TVA or anything like that. But supposedly in the comics, this character, this Renslayer character, actually had somewhat of a relationship or something going on with, was it Kang? Initially, and that's been kind of one of my things, is thinking that I'm wondering if Mobius here is actually a version of Kang, or because I'm kind of thinking that maybe he's the bad guy. I mean, if you think about it, just kind of like I was saying earlier, about the villain, and even when we got into WandaVision, like the first one, like I have a feeling that by episode 2 or 3, we've already been introduced to our villain. But I think more so than anything, we were introduced to our villain in episode 1, and that villain I believe to be Owen Wilson. And I think that's what we've got going on here. I think that's what we've got going on here. I think that Mobius is the villain. I think he is that version maybe of Kang. Maybe he is a different, maybe he's a robot version of Kang. Maybe he's, whatever other version that he may have that he's using, maybe pulling those strings on somebody, kind of like we see Loki doing here. So we get a lot of those that back and forth here with Renslayer and Mobius. Very interesting conversation, and some of the things that they are talking about here, as you do see Mobius sitting there kind of questioning the timekeepers. As he says, we find out that he's never actually even seen them, right? So essentially, what are we talking about here? Who's she talking to? Is she making them up? Do they not really exist? Are they kind of that man behind the curtain? Are we dealing with the Wizard of Oz here? Is that what we got? Is this the Wizard of Oz? Are we doing that again? But we see a lot of these things, and then we see actually Loki go through. He sits down he goes with Mobius, and we see him acting all weird and being all nerdy after Owen Wilson just got his ass chewed out. Or was it? Or was that? I don't know. I think that was a little bit of foreplay. Was that a little bit of foreplay? Time works a little bit different here in the TVA. We don't know how long he was in that room. Anyway, point being is we see him sitting there. We see Loki doing his Loki thing, being wanting and needy, right? And then they go to lunch there. And I forgot to bring up the thing where Loki was sitting there teasing Miss Minutes, didn't I? Miss Minutes, he was sitting there like smacking after Miss Minutes as she was sitting there quizzing him on different stuff. But this is why, because it pertains to this, because she was questioning him about different things to do with the Nexus time events and why they have the red line and what happens if they don't reset the times by this by the time these divergent timelines redline. And so we see we got a little bit of that earlier, and we see Loki there on lunch at the TVA with Owen Wilson, and he's sitting there eating his salad. And I wonder if size has something to do with here too, because he has that little tiny bowl of a salad. And look, I'm telling you, a little tiny bowl like that filled with salad, dude, that's like 2 bites of salad. That's nothing. That's nothing. Like, I eat salads out of a bowl. A bowl the size you probably eat cereal out of. All right, it's huge. It's huge. It's huge. Well, you probably make cookie dough in the size of salad bowl that I eat salad out of. Anyway, the point being is because then you see him with those little salt shakers, and he was anyway. We see him sitting there talking about these Nexus events and trying to track down this Loki, and he's talking about anytime that there are these apocalyptic events. It's so funny they're talking about a lot about apocalypse here, right? Are we gonna get some X-Men theories going on here already? Where's the X-Men theories at? Where you at, guys? Where you at? These apocalypse events is what he's talking about. He says you would never notice the variant energy, or that what do they call it? The aura. The aura, the astral aura. You wouldn't pick up on that there in those events, because everything's getting ready to end. So anything could diverge. Anything crazy could happen there at that time, and it wouldn't matter, because the world at whatever point they're at is going to end anyway. It's going to end like that. So that means if there was a catastrophic event, an apocalyptic event, and say somebody went after people, time stones, soul stones, any kind of stones, at a time in which there's an apocalyptic event, they could go get what they wanted, get out, and nobody would ever know, because it would never show up in a divergent timeline, because that timeline is coming to an end. Now he talks about this when referencing what? He's talking about Thor Ragnarok, right? He's talking about Ragnarok, and he talks about, say he went and pushed Hulk off of a ship on the Rainbow Bridge, and all. Just he's talking about all these different little things, these different little scenarios, and it's all these different little scenarios that you think about, like, We've seen Loki supposedly die how many times? We've seen Loki popping in and out. And oh, and that was the other thing too. They were talking about the illusion casting and the this and the that. And Loki really kind of broke that all down. And that's when he became Professor Loki. And he broke a lot of these things down and the difference in them. They didn't explain these things for nothing, folks. All right. So he's talking about the illusion casting, and I can't remember what the other one was right off the top of my head. Feel free to beat me up and make fun of me down in the comments. But he goes through and he's talking about that. So they end up going to test it. Now again, that's why they end up going to test this, because if there is, we see that as this event is happening, they end up going to Pompeii, and this volcano is erupting, and Loki decides to go there and start, causing ripples in the time, changes that would change everything kind of going on there. That whole, they explained it in Back to the Future, right? But wait, whoa, 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 whoa! I thought they told me that Back to the Future was bullshit. Anyway, point being is that he goes through there and he's kind of changing stuff. You see things going differently than they went down, and you can see the branch going off, but you would see that there's no varying energy or anything like that, because it wouldn't be noticed, because everything's getting ready to end. So people could literally get away with murder, and so they start to go look at apocalyptic events where this person could be going to hang out, because really all you got to do is just go hang out at the same place forever. And that's when they end up going and they find a particular time in which they go to the Roxxon Corporation. They go to this Roxxon, like a big mega superstore, someplace where a person could hole up and live for a long time, in which you see these hurricanes just going in and sweeping this area. And this is where our main confrontation here happens, where we see that Loki is battling Loki. I'm getting better at this, aren't I, as I go on here? Loki ends up battling Loki. And again, they end up talking. We're getting a whole lot of things explained here in this series through the conversations about these Nexus events, the way they reset them, and things like that. And then we see that Loki actually has those little bombs set up on these little time doors that they use with the little pads that they're taking to set off these little doors to send these bombs off to these different divergent timelines and everything, to sort of maybe, I don't know, cause chaos. We see that the TVA starts freaking out, because you see the sacred timeline, you see all the divergent timelines starting to branch off from those events. So some pretty interesting, I don't know, some interesting stuff going on there. And again, a lot of it just, I think, is dealing with the time and the resetting of time, and it's also setting up like who is really in charge of everything here. And we see that our variant Loki is out there, seemingly our villain, but I mean, I think anybody out there could see that this is not actually our villain. We were introduced to that villain in episode 1, and I believe that if it's not Mobius, it's definitely got to be Renslayer, right? Right? Doesn't it? I don't know. I mean, I still kind of feel like it's Mobius, because I feel like what we're getting here, and we know it's been said that Kang's gonna be in Quantum Mania, right? Jonathan Majors coming in to play Kang. And we know that would, could possibly be brought up and teased here in this series. And I think it's very possible that maybe Mobius is a version of him, or maybe there's something there to deal with that. I'm kind of curious as to how they are going to play that out. But I'm kind of got the feeling that it's Mobius, and that maybe he is a version of Kang, trying to figure out what's going on with this. Because one of the things that one of Kang's other aliases is Immortus. Now, Immortus is the ruler of Limbo. Now, if you go here in the where are we at here? Oh, this is issue 9. No, we don't need issue 9. If you go here into Avengers issue 10, I've talked about this before. If you go here into this issue here, Avengers issue 10. This is when I believe this is the first time we really get Immortus here. The issue before we were introduced to Kang, or 2 issues before we were introduced to Kang. I believe that was in issue 8 when Kang first came to meet the Avengers, to battle the Avengers. Previously, he had obviously been introduced in, I believe, the Fantastic Four, and I can't remember what other issue it was, and they even mentioned that in here. Fantastic Four. Oh, Fantastic Four number 19 and Fantastic Four Annual number 2. But we get Immortus in here, who reaches out to the Masters of Evil to sort of, he wants to take over and he wants to defeat the Avengers. Now, one of the things they mention about him when he shows up about Immortus is that Immortus is the master of time. He is the one who rules the mystic realm of Limbo, where things never change. Now, this is Immortus, right? And this is why I'm kind of wondering if Mobius, I mean, I'm not saying that Mobius is Immortus, but Immortus is that version. Now, he basically, as the ruler of Limbo, he don't want things to change. He wants them to stay the same, and he wants to rule over that timeline. I guess you could say that sacred timeline, right? I have a feeling that he's in charge of wanting to keep that one timeline. This is the Limbo, where you get stuck there. If he is the ruler of Limbo and the master of time, so he wants to be in charge of those things. So I believe this series, I believe the TVA are agents. We even heard that they're made up. That he created the TVA, and it's weird, really weird that the wording that they use in episode 1, that he created the TVA and its agents, right? And it's interesting because they were talking about some of that throughout these episodes as well, wondering about like the chicken or the egg thing, right? Talking a little bit about that, about those kinds of things. And so it's very interesting thinking about all of these different things. I think that we are definitely seeing possibly, if not Immortus and Kang are really essentially the same, coming together and doing kind of ruling over all of this. I'm not really for sure who else it could be here. I'm pretty sure that's Mobius. And we see that by way of him being the agent that's checking in here with Renslayer. That would essentially, if he is the one that's going out on these missions and seems to keep failing at bringing this Loki variant to justice or anything like that, it means he's probably in on it. I'm thinking. I could totally be wrong. But I don't know. There's just so much that happened in this episode. There's a lot really to go through, and it all really kind of dealt with these divergent timelines and how they reset them again. Who's in charge of it and things like that. Again, it comes to who has control, who wants to keep it all that sacred timeline, who is dictating what that sacred timeline actually is, right? Loki was even questioning that in the first series, in the first episode, where he's talking about the Avengers, and the Avengers were doing what they were supposed to do, right? So it's not to say that people going out there and meddling with these like timelines is necessarily something that's that bad. Doctor Strange seen all these different timelines as well, right? So I think it's possible that, yeah, sure. I mean, they probably allow things to happen because they want to observe and not allow all these things, but at the same time they still only want that one sacred timeline. A lot of interesting stuff here, and it's all dealing with this the timekeepers, the sacred timeline, and things like that. And I definitely think that we are dealing with Immortus and Kang here as the main villain being set up. Maybe not the main villain of this series, but the main villain being set up here for this next phase of the MCU, because we already, they made mention of Nexus beings in the WandaVision series as well. Now, I also think that it's pretty great and ingenious, this whole Nexus idea as well, with some of the things that we've got in WandaVision, some of the stuff we've had in the past, some of the things we're going to get in the future of the MCU as well. These next events, these divergent timelines, all kind of being looked after by these timekeepers in the sacred timeline. Right, I think it's very interesting because some of the stuff that happened in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series, some of the same things that happened in the comic books, some of the things that happened in the comics when they went on in the comic books, or they went for some of these, how would you say, these different characters. They had different versions of these characters in the comic books where they took and made. You had Hulkling, or is it Hulkling? No, it's the Hulk that was when Bruce Banner wasn't there. So, but you got some of these different versions of these characters. You had Sam Wilson, Captain America. Steve Rogers was an old man. You had all of these things that were going on. What eventually happened was Secret Empire. That was kind of the big bang of it all that reset a lot of these characters back to their somewhat normal selves, except for Iceman. And everybody kind of went back to their classic historic character. And some of the characters ended up going on to live on as well. And a lot of these kinds of crazy things happening here by way. Now, that in itself sounds exactly like what they could be talking about here with this phase and these divergent timelines, where we already see we've got Sam Wilson, Captain America. We've got all of these different characters that are coming in. And I think that could be one of those things that kind of where they get these things and they want to trim off a branch and do something divergent. They could do that, and this is the way where they could actually recast certain characters out there, bring in other characters as well. So all very interesting stuff. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. Man, I've been flapping my gums for a while, haven't I? Let's get here into the chats and see what you all are saying. Let's get in here. Where we at? Where we at? All right. All right. Yeah. What's your theory so far on who's behind all this? Definitely. I'm pretty sure it's definitely. I'm dead sure that it's got to be Kang. Kang and Mortis. Really the same thing essentially. Mastimus Prime. Okay. Imagine Iron Loki. Oh yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. Some people rolling this Ren Fair scene in episode 2. Super. I know. Yeah, some people really need this. Yeah. That was funny too. And I was like, oh man, it makes it seem desperate and like a bunch of nerds. That's funny though. Yeah, man. That's funny. Yeah, Ren Fair. Yeah, Ren Fair is the best. Duder, what's up, man? How are you doing, Adam? Thank you so much for being here. Put some respect on the joust. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, thank you so much, Abunuts, for the $5 super chat, man. I'm on the grind as always. All right, man. Hell yeah. The way the one Minute Man came into the picture in this arena reminds me of a knight going into a tournament, just short of a glimpse of their armor in a shot before the fight against their Minutemen. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm loco for Loki. The series is very good so far. I mean, what did you expect? Yeah. Yep. Just leaving a like. Haven't watched yet. All right, Air Spider. Thank you so much for being here. Also, let the ads play. Good man. Thank you. Question: Mobius got interrupted while he pointed out one of the timekeepers in Renslayer's office. What he was about to say, I couldn't catch it. Definitely, and he didn't. Like he cut off because I was listening for that too. I was listening. I'm like, what is he saying right there? Yeah, I rewound that part. Yeah. Mobius leaves coffee rings. Yeah. Jedi Jen, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, the coffee rings were hilarious. They were hilarious. Yeah. I don't think there are lizard timekeepers. All that CGI sounds expensive. Yeah, right? Yeah, exactly, Chillmonger, for sure. Thank you so much for being here, man. And guys, make sure you go check out Chillmonger's channel. And Chillmonger, if you're here, you can put your command in there, exclamation chill. Nikki, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a very good day. Sheev the Wise, what is up, my man? Can't stay because of spoilers, but much love. All right. All right. Hope the series ends with Mobius getting his jet ski, says a You know what was funny, Aglax? He was talking about the jet skis. I thought it was funny because remember those little machines, the little transports that the Chitauri were using in the Battle of New York? Were those not like definitely jet ski inspired designs? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Definitely jet ski inspired. I'm sure we'll end with him on the jet ski. Yeah, right? Yeah. Ooh, in Tahiti? In Tahiti? Yee. Ralph Dupree, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're having a very good day. Don't forget to check your Myrtle bit while you are here. Trin going full blown boner with his theories now. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yes. Boner everywhere. Yeah. That's exactly what I predicted. Poster inside the magazine. I will show Mobius on a jet ski. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. I think Mobius is the antagonist, but not a villain. Right, right. Yeah, I like that. I like the way you put it. Yeah, I think he's the antagonist. I don't think he's the overall, because I think the overall villain is Kang here. But I do think, yeah, there you go, antagonist, and I like that. Yeah, well put, well put. And that's kind of that's what I meant. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. You're helping me brush up on. You know what? You're helping me brush up here a little bit. You're helping me brush up. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, he's the antagonist, not the villain. Yeah. Going back to work after a week off. Oof, that's rough, man. You know what? I remember those days, man. Like you're sitting there on your vacation and you're sitting there thinking like the whole vacation you were sitting there thinking like, man, I know the place is falling apart without me, thinking about stuff that's going on. You're like, man, I'm gonna have to get up, I'm gonna have to get back and fix this mess. And then finally, like you get past, this few days, like the last day or two before you're getting ready to go to work, and you're like, oh man, I'm just starting to enjoy this. I don't want to go back to work now, or I'm gonna have to fix everything that got messed up while I was gone. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, Nikki all day, every day. Coffee. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we're not in Kansas anymore. Yep. Yeah. Geekly Gods, thank you so much for being here, Leo. Hope you're having a very good day. Coffee IV. Yeah. Clicks Hills, there's no place like home. Yeah. That's funny. I'm actually from yeah. Anyway. Gotta love Tara Strong's voice for Miss Minutes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Doing a great job with Miss Minutes for 100%. 100%. 100%. And I was sitting there trying to figure out like who is that? And I was like, yeah. Great stuff. Aglax says I got a lot of the Kang story in early Marvel was clever retcon, including the Arslayer stuff, but you are right. All right. In early Marvel, yeah. All right. Oh, it was clever retcon. Is that what that? All right. Okay. Yeah. It was a salad nugget. Yeah, it was too. It's like a little come on, man. Like, what's going on with that little thing? I think the bowl wasn't up for a full lunch. Yeah, there wasn't anything in that bowl. Yeah. Cookie salad. Yes, but cookie salad. What? Oh, maybe a salad super rare to get around. Yeah. Could be. You don't know how TVA bowls work. Apparently, I don't. If TVA bowls work that way, I definitely want to try a different one of them kind of TVA bowls and see how big those are. Yeah. Death, the ultimate trick. Yeah, absolutely, Mas. Loki will swap himself with another variant of himself to flee the TVA. Very well could. Well, Loki will swap Loki's. So you gotta be careful now, bruh. You gotta be careful. Loki will swap. Saying himself is getting a little. Just saying. Loki will swap himself with another variant. Yeah, like seeing that. That cracked me up. Yeah, the goats. Yeah, the little Billy goats. Yeah, that was great. Yeah, thumbs the stream before the TVA shows up and resets it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and you know what? Help fight back against the TVA, who is constantly trying to bury us in that YouTube algorithm by liking this stream and making sure that you share it with your friends and tell them to kind of hang out in the live chats with all these awesome people here and acquiring their Myrtle bit. Yeah. Spoilers, lady. Stop calling her Lady Loki! It's Loki! is about to mess things up with the timeline. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe she's just setting it free. Maybe she's just setting it free. These bombs will rewind events from happening before the meteorite strikes the one planet we saw in the trailer. The one scene we saw Loki sitting there watching. Saw the Lokis sitting there watching the collision. Yeah, absolutely. Well, if they're going to send them back to those timelines, you could think like every catastrophic event. You could think about that. Remember that meteorite that struck down and landed in Wakanda? Yeah. Remember? Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Back down through that shit before I entered the room. Kang is the next Mephisto boner. Well, the thing is, Nikki, is we know that Kang is coming. We already know that Jonathan Majors has already been cast as Kang. We already know that. So I don't think it's too ridiculous to think that he's being set up here. Is he actually going to be? Supposedly, they're talking about he's going to be in the show, but like that, no. But I think he's definitely being set up here. And yeah. And the whole Quicksilver thing, like I never really quite, he still played Quicksilver, if you ask me. But Star Wars Santa, thank you so much for being here. Says, hey, better late than never. I haven't seen Loki episode 2 yet, so I'll drop out. All right, leave a like. All right. Thank you so much for being here, Star Wars Santa. Parker, that episode was really good. It was good. Do the limbo dance. Yeah, the limbo. I thought they said a quick flash, a quick trick of the eyes. Thought it said Kimbo Slice. Do that Kimbo Slice? You remember Kimbo Slice? Then the Nerds is going live. Oh, that son of a motherless goats. I'm off to work. All right, have a good one. Yeah. Thanks never stopping by. Leave a like on the way out. Absolutely. Renslayer wants the sacred timeline so Kang and Mortis can keep on ruling. Exactly. But I'm telling you, it seems like Renslayer is saying that they were very flirty together. Yeah, have a good day at work, man. Have a good day at work. Yeah, and any of the Nerd Vengers getting ready to take off, hey, leave a like on your way out. I hope you left a like on your way out. If you took off, thank you so much for being here. Because yeah, okay, it's been 15 minutes here, huh? I'm behind. Chillmonger dropped it. Yeah, there you go. The Chillmonger link. Yeah, don't fall for the boner. Social distance warrior, thank you so much for being here, man. I hope all is going well with you. Hope things are going good. And I know you're at the. I know you're enjoying that Loki series so far. I know you are, man. I know you are. Yeah, Loki landing with that flying boat in Thor 2. Ta-da! Right? Yeah, not till 2023 though. We have so many movies to like. Yeah. And again, I mean, 2023 is gonna be here sooner than you think. You know what I mean? It's gonna be here sooner than you think. But all right, guys. But yeah, that's really all I've got today. So guys, make sure that if you're not already, please make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give this video a like. Make sure you're here hanging out, acquiring Myrtlebit, and interacting with all these great folks in the live chats, because being here in the live streams and the live chats is the only way to acquire Myrtlebit, and the Myrtlebit is going to get you entered into some of the giveaways that we are going to be doing here on the channel. So make sure that you're doing that. Make sure you share this video out with your friends. Also, make sure tonight you tune into that pinned comment up there. Make sure that you go subscribe to Fanjecture. Show up to his show tonight where we are going to be doing Debate 8, debating Kevin Smith's greatest films. And I know how you feel about these films, and I need to get you to vote the way that I want you to vote, because my favorite movie is not your favorite movie. I know what your favorite movie is, and it's not mine. I'm going to tell you why you need to vote for mine and why mine is the best Kevin Smith film. So make sure you tune into that. But you all have a very good day. Thank you so much for being here. Mike Porter, no spam in the chat, you son of a...